What's up, soil brothers and soil sisters? Uh-oh. Facebook in one of its moves today. Today is Wednesday. It is Wednesday morning, and it is an overcast Wednesday morning, and we are cool with that. I hope y'all are having a blessed week. It is the middle of the week, hump day. So we are halfway there. As you enter the room, if you could be so kind to hashtag replay. If you are not following us or subscribe to us, please hit that follow or subscribe. It does help us, and hit that thumbs up. YouTube can double tap the screen, and Facebook you can hold and heart or care or something. We greatly appreciate that. However, it looks beautiful outside. That's all I'm going to say for now, because things can change really quick. So no complaints, no anything. It's a beautiful morning, and I hope y'all are having a beautiful morning. So I think my co-pilot somewhere flying around here, I don't know where he is. We in restock mode. It's been pretty busy around here. We got so many things going on, but it's always just like beautiful. It's what is that? A cardinal on the front porch? It's a baby bird on the front. Not a baby bird. It is 3 baby birds on the front porch. So every year this bird builds a nest on our porch. She usually build it in a tomato plant or somewhere. This year she decided she was gonna build it inside on one of the doors, and we just left it. Thank you so much for the stars. We appreciate you. And the other day I heard the babies chirping. I'm so nosy. I was like, let me just peep at them. She wanted. Yeah, she out there. Cause yesterday I was like, where y'all mammy at? She was like, I'm out of here. I ain't got nothing to do with it. But the other day, she tried to beat me up. Look at this.
Wait a minute, girl.
She was like, you better get away from my little ugly babies.
They got their bottle for like that's their mama.
Yeah.
See that.
I know. So I'm going to have to drop that video so y'all can see it. They ain't the prettiest little things.
Oh, but, we've been blessed with some stars already, huh?
Yeah.
So we appreciate you, fam.
Every year she here building her nest and doing her thing.
It's crazy. So, like they always building on our porch.
Right
crazy.
on the porch in the same area.
Yeah.
She
and
just
we probably
moved.
use our porch more than anybody, but they'll just build.
She don't care.
We got a hanging pot up there. They gonna build in the pot.
Yep.
Whatever.
Tomato plants. Last year she was like, I'm building in these plants. But this year she built on the door. And when we come out the house, she just lay there. She just sit there like.
And stare at us like, mind your business.
So, the gift of life, which is a beautiful thing. No complaints here. So we're gonna talk about one of Bobby's favorite things.
What are we talking about?
Einkorn, ancient grains. And we're gonna talk about ancient grains because first we're gonna do a little bit of a deep dive. A little bit of a deep dive. Good morning, Soil Fam. So glad to see you all. Thank y'all for being here. And we're gonna talk about. So instead of saying ancient grain, I'm gonna say wheat. Because sometimes when you say ancient grain, it's like, what is an ancient grain? It's just wheat. And it's not just wheat, but it is wheat. Wheat is very important. They put wheat in so many of our products, and we don't realize that may be the main culprit. You know, they like to blame everything, but most people don't talk about the wheat. And some people say, well, I don't eat sugar, or I don't use salt, or, you know, but you eat a lot of bread. And we have to know where our wheat comes from. We had a really, really great conversation with an amazing person the other day that just made both Bobby and I so that just want to dance, because to hear people take pride in a product and care about others, not just themselves. You an ancient grain, Sue? it make me feel good because that lets you know that even though we know that it's more than just us in this world that try to do better and want the best and try to promote some good things. But just to hear that conversation from him felt great.
Definitely the fact that, confirming the fact that the wheat is an issue. We know that today's wheat is hybridized. It's one of the main causes of a lot of people's ailments, and a lot of us don't know it. So if you think that you have done everything, you have cut all this out, cut all that out, you dieted, lost weight, and still you having same issues, one thing you haven't thought about is the thing that's in everything, and that's the wheat. And because the wheat is hybridized, being that somebody decided to go in there, a scientist decided to go in there and dice up the genes of a wheat plant and make our own, so man-made wheat, so you can grow more and it's more hardy to grow, is the reason why we're having the issues. Because when you change the makeup of the wheat, our bodies don't handle it correctly.
That's right. That's why we have that gluten intolerant, eczema, asthma.
Yeah. So the gluten is way too much, and it's the wrong kind of gluten, and it is causing all this inflammation in our body. And a lot of us thinking because it don't do it to everybody, that can't be the problem. It's most definitely the problem.
And it does do it. It do it to majority of us.
Because when you change
it just look different for everybody.
Yeah.
You gonna order more soap today? It just look different for everybody. And when I say everybody, it could be so different from me and my husband. And I could be thinking it's one thing for me. I could be thinking it's salt for me and sugar for him. And we'll never, most of the time, for years, we never looked at wheat. We just thought, be careful with the sugar, be careful with the salt. Never thought about wheat. I make my own bread, I make my own cakes, pies, pasta, anything we need, we make it ourselves. We never looked at the wheat.
I tell everybody, guys, do your research, do a deep dive. Don't look at surface level information. Find out exactly when they started changing our wheat, and then learn what that actually does to the body. Now, if you want a beautiful loaf of bread, that old wheat is going to be the best, because what we call it beautiful is what we have been adapted to understand what a loaf of bread is supposed to look like.
Well, we're going to play with some.
Yeah.
We're going to play with a lot of wheat here soon, because, when he say deep dive, we like to do real deep dives. So we got about 6 different wheats coming. Yeah. We ordered about 6 different organic ancient grains. And what we want to do is bake a loaf of bread with all 6. Make cookies with all 6, because we want to see what's the difference in the taste.
Well, so, one thing you're going to realize that they do have a taste.
They do.
Versus the one that you buy at the store.
Because people go by appearance too. We want to see the taste, the texture, what it look like, because people want a beautiful loaf of bread. But what's the difference?
Muffins.
Yeah, what's the difference in all of these? Because there's so many different kinds of ancient grains. So that's why I always say, look into ancient grains, get the different texture and taste profiles to see which one you want. Like, we love einkorn. We've tried. Go ahead.
I'm going to say most important, guys. We want to emphasize the problems that it has in your body, the issues that it can be causing in your body, the things that you have to go get on medication for because you don't know what's causing it. And when we say wheat, guys, this stuff is in everything that you eat.
It's in soups, salads, cereal, pasta, breads. I mean,
and if you ask anybody who's swapped over, they'll tell you that their body is performing differently. You know, now
So
getting a
Mary
real
asks,
wheat is expensive. You know,
an ancient grain.
Yeah, ancient grain. I call it a real wheat because the other stuff should be called something else.
But see,
this
when,
was wheat before.
Yeah.
It was, you know,
And
before
see,
they
some
made that.
people may think when you say real wheat, they may think whole wheat.
No,
And
no, okay.
so when he say real wheat, we talking about an ancient grain. Somebody at Mary asks, what do you recommend for cholesterol? Ancient grains. So when it comes to cholesterol, they play with the numbers. They'll tell you that 250, 240s, 230s, you're getting high. They want to put you on medicine. The brain need fat, you know. So if the brain doesn't have a certain amount of cholesterol, it's not going to work properly. So you need fat. Cholesterol it can be good. If you get in the 300s or so, you may be getting a little too high in. You just need to back off the bread, the wheat, the crackers, the pasta. That's what it is. It's just that your body don't recognize that wheat product, which is modern wheat. It's hybridized, and it's messing with your. It could be messing with your cholesterol because again, they will tell you it's high when it's not high, and put you on medicine.
Yeah. So getting better said that the emmer, iron corn, was it emmer farro? I ain't see the farro. Iron corn are good for cookies and cakes and pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we will definitely find out. We know that iron corn is definitely good for muffins, cookies, frying stuff. I mean,
we use iron corn on everything.
Yeah,
Bobby
so
even
good.
stewed some chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he stewed chicken the other day, and he used that.
And people who are here for the first time who don't understand, these here, what you see here, these are iron corn berries.
Yes,
If we grind them, they turn to flour. And the flour that you will see, once it's grind, looks just almost like the flour that you would get out of the store.
Mm-hmm.
But it is totally different. It is
Thank
flavor
you.
to it.
Thank you.
It
Kat.
does have nutrients to it.
Yes.
The one that you get out of the store has absolutely nothing in it.
No
It's
taste.
No taste.
No nutrients.
Nothing.
No nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So let me break down a little bit of what what wheat is compared to. So we know when we are looking at things that are high on the glycemic index chart, especially for diabetics. But we look at things that are high on a glycemic index chart. So we're gonna compare three things: whole wheat, white wheat, and sugar. So sugar, we should always target things 55 and lower on the glycemic index chart. I think your child. Oh, that's not her. 55 and lower on the glycemic index chart. So sugar, and I'm just talking regular white sugar. White sugar sit at 59 on the glycemic index chart. It's higher than 55, but it's only 59. White bread or white wheat set at 69 on the glycemic index chart, which make white wheat worse than sugar. And then most people will go to what is it called? Whole wheat bread, brown bread, because they think it's better choice when they want to lose weight or they going through something. They'll go to this whole wheat bread or brown bread. Whole wheat sit at 72 on the glycemic index chart, which is crazy high. And it's so much higher than white wheat or even sugar. So when you look at sugar, it's actually not as bad as whole wheat or white wheat. So when you buying bread from the store, it doesn't matter whether it's wheat, honey wheat, oat. Like, you got to be careful with all that because it's all hybridized. Somebody asked, where can I get einkorn berries? I just dropped the link of where we get our einkorn, where we get our ancient grains from. And the good thing about that site or this company is you can look at the different profiles of what is this one best for? What should I be getting rye for? What should I get Emma for, or am I gonna get einkorn? Do I want all purpose? So you got a few choices there, but they'll tell you which each one of them mean. And
Yeah, guys. So when I did,
hold up, and your wheat will be fresh.
yeah. So when I did my research on where to buy my ancient grain from. To a lot of y'all who didn't know, I found out a few months ago that I had diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
And when I found out, of course, I went blank slate carnivore. I reset my diet, reset my blood sugar, and then as it got better, after it got better, I started incorporating little stuff back into my body. One of the things I wanted to do was be able to find a way to eat some kind of breads or muffins or cakes or anything like that. But I wanted to do it the best way possible. So I found ancient grains, and I did a massive search, as much as I possibly could, on which ancient grains to get. And then I happened upon Grand Teton.
Mm.
They got a whole site that tells you everything about each one of the grains. And one thing that did turn me on about this company and made me set with them is the fact that it was grown all naturally.
Yes.
Through regenerative farming.
Mm-hmm.
So I automatically was like, yeah, I really didn't care what the price difference was, because this company is actually saying this. I decided I'm going this way,
Mm-hmm.
And they did a whole deep dive on how they believe this thing's supposed to be. So we tried it, and we got a nice, clean product, and we've been happy with it, and that's what we stuck with.
It's a small family company. I mean, it's not a small, tiny family company, but they are a family-owned farm company, and they take pride in what they do. And he's, one of the things he said was, most companies won't eat their own product. He said that we didn't want to create or have a product that we won't eat because we know that it's not safe. He said, but we feel perfectly fine, and we encourage people to. He said they even got like people around them growing it now, and more people into it. Yeah. It's all about health.
So somebody asked us here about a couple of weeks ago, how do you know? How do you know that this stuff is organic or natural? And I told them we didn't know. All we knew is what was on the site. Now, most of the other sites didn't even claim that. Mm-hmm. So we did have an opportunity to talk with, the owner of the company, and really good, smart guy, and he explained to us exactly how they do what they do and the reason why they do what they do, which we will go more into detail a little later, and possibly even have him come and talk to y'all about it. But it's an amazing process that they go through, and anybody who take that kind of pride in what they do, all of us need to know about it. Anybody who care about themselves, their health, and can afford to do better, need to hear this is going to probably be the best bet for you, because nobody's doing that.
Yes. So you can buy ancient grain flour already milled. When it's already milled, it does lose some of its nutritious value, but at least it got some. So I would still say, if you cannot mill or don't want to mill your own, still get a flour that's already milled. An ancient grain, it is way better, and the taste is out of this world. Somebody asked, why can't we grow ancient grain here and sell new bread in the United States? You can.
This is in the United States.
You can. This company is in the United States. Mm-hmm. They grow their own ancient grains, and they sell it.
I don't know why I want to say what is it?
Utah, I think. Are they in Utah?
No, they he said they about 50 miles, 100 miles.
I can't remember.
I can't remember the name. But they're in Grand Teton, wherever that's at. is it? It's not Illinois. It's
The name of the company is no problem, Renee. I'm gonna drop. I pinned the link at the bottom, but I'll drop the site for you again. Ancientgrains.com. There you go. So,
and you know, guys, everything that we actually decide to use, we try to list. You know, we try to let people know what we found out, because not everybody have the time to go and look for the best products, you know, to use. So, you know, we do spend a lot of time going through and finding what's going to be the best bet. You know, if we're going to put it out there to you, we want to give you what we think will be the best product to use. Because there's some people out there that got some real issues.
Yeah.
That if they get some bad stuff,
it's going to mess them up.
Hurt them. So
yeah. Because I see somebody, Cheryl, saying, I'm a diabetic and I have gluten allergies. Mm-hmm. And all that is the hybridized wheat. You know, that because when God made things, he made things in perfect form. When man came along and said, I can do better, that's when things went wrong. And it's been some time. I think Norman Boulay got a Nobel Peace Prize from something he created in the 70s. Here we are 40, 50 years later, and people are sick as a dog and getting worse. Our kids are sick. We are all having issues. Like,
absolutely
never heard
no pesticides.
Never heard of gluten intolerant growing up, and now everybody got these gluten issues. So
no pesticides, no chemical fertilizers. It's all grown through regenerative farming. You have to look that up. It does take some work and it takes some knowledge. But if you can do that, you can fertilize your ground perfectly, so you can actually grow your plants the way they should be grown without all the extra.
Yeah.
But it do take more work than just dumping a bunch of chemicals on it. So that's what makes this product superior to me.
Yeah, and I love the fact that now you can order this from Amazon, but if you order it from ancientgrains.com, you can. Did I give you the link?
No.
I thought I sent it to you.
You did.
Oh. If you get it from Ancient Grains, they may have milled your wheat yesterday, versus Amazon may have bags stocked up from 6 months ago, 3 months ago or something. So if you get it from the company, you'll get it fresher. We've never had any issues with them. We love our Ancient Grains. The taste is amazing. Like, I don't have to season my flour anymore when I'm frying chicken or something. That's a total game changer. But even with our breads and different things that I make now, so much flavor to it. You can enjoy your food.
So guys, I mean, I wanted to tell you the benefits and what this could do. Now, we have talked to a number of people who have had
these country kids.
Who had issues with gluten, and they said that they can eat ancient grains. Now, to explain to y'all a little bit what gluten is. Gluten is one of those things that make your bread rise. So, being that the hybridized wheat has a lot of gluten in it, and the gluten is less tolerated by our body, it allows the wheat to rise really high. So, y'all can remember one time when you used to have to tear bread, right? Or y'all have heard of them times when you used to have to tear bread because it didn't grow up in a big loaf. That's because those were more of the natural wheats. Now that the natural wheats are not readily available in your stores anymore, everybody is accustomed to the hot rising wheat. Now, guys, that was all a mindset, because we had to be shown this is what bread's supposed to look like. So it's going to feel different eating bread that don't rise quite as high. But what's going to get you is the taste. How amazing it tastes to bake with them, to cook with them. And, I mean, the nutrients that you get, then your body going to feel different. So now that your body is functioning correctly, because you ain't got a whole bunch of gummy stuff in there interfering with it, it could help your blood pressure, it can help your blood sugar, you know, all the inflammation in your body your body being able to cleanse itself out. All that stuff can be affected by just eating the wrong wheats that's in everything. And we definitely wanted, once we found that out, we wanted to definitely bring that, because that's information when you find that stuff out, because we hadn't known it terribly long. And like I said, if we surprised by something, I'm sure there's a bunch of y'all that's out there that's surprised by it also. So we definitely want to put that information out there. So if you think you tried everything and they putting you on these medications,
Try your wheat.
try changing this,
Your wheat.
and you could probably drop a lot of those medications.
So that's why I asked the question in the beginning. Is this making us sick? Is it what's making us sick? You know, when you go to the doctor and they say, oh, it's all this, that, and the third, how many times have you ever heard them say, have you ever looked in the ancient grains or, you know, your wheat? You might want to be careful with your wheat. Wheat is in a lot of things that we eat. We feed our kids this all the time. They eat cereal growing up and pancakes and all this stuff. Is the wheat making us sick? What will happen if we all went back to ancient grains? This is what God intended for us. Again, our food is our medicine. What will happen? Will it heal us? Help us heal ourselves? That's YouTube.
Who you at?
Facebook.
You said you gave me that number?
Yeah, I just sent it again. So look into the benefits of ancient grains. That gluten intolerant, the eczema. I've had people say to me, "Oh, I switched to ancient grains and now the eczema is gone." The fog brain has cleared up. The bloat has cleared up. These are the gluten sensitivity issues you'll have. Yeah, that's it. Oh, it's in your clipboard now. That we have when we indulge in this modern wheat that our body doesn't recognize and don't know what to do with it. So I think personally that it is a huge contribute to our health now, compared to other things. Again, whole wheat, which this is whole wheat, but the modern whole wheat is worse than sugar on the glycemic index,
And
if you do your own research.
Now understand, guys, I mean,
Good morning, Soy
Wheat.
Fam.
in itself, you know, when it breaks down in your body, it turns into a sugar anyway.
Mhm.
And you talking about these,
Bobby gonna drop the link for you. Go ahead, baby.
and you talking about, you know, that hybridized wheat with the glutens that's horrible for your body. And it's breaking down and it's gumming up your insides. And your body is saying, I don't know what to do with all this stuff. Now you gotta take in consideration that going on.
Yeah.
Then you gotta think about all the preservatives and chemicals that's in your wheat, in your hair products, in your skincare products, all that stuff. Your soaps, your shampoos, all that stuff. Now your body only can tolerate so much.
Yeah.
You know, and as we get older, it can tolerate less. But yet they put more and more and more of this stuff in our foods. So how are we expecting our body to deal with all these
Ailments, yeah.
issues, all these foreign objects that we are ingesting all the time? How can it fight it off constantly?
Yeah.
You know, 24 hours a day. You know,
The body's job is to keep us well, but we gotta do our job. You know, it's a team. The body is a community. We have to do our part to keep the body happy and doing its part. Long as we doing our part, the body will do its part, and it'll keep us well. But because we don't know no better and we don't realize what they doing to us behind the scenes, and when we go in the store, we thinking, oh, let me get this because this is better for us. It's all crap. It's loaded with crap. You know, they don't have to put this on the label, which I think is a crime. I think you should have to list everything that you put in a product on the label, because I should have the right to know what I'm putting in my body or what I'm giving my kids and my husband and my grandparents or my parents. But they don't care. Yeah, it's all about money.
that's it.
All about money. If it don't make money, it don't make sense. And I think that is a true crime because look at us. We are suffering all the time.
YouTube got, I just dropped the link. All right. Now, wow, this is the company we decided to deal with because of all our research. You know, you can check into it and you make your own decision on whether or not it's worth dealing with this particular company.
Yeah.
You know, there's other wheats out there, there's other companies out there, but because of the way they deal, the way they grow, we felt way more comfortable dealing with this company. And that's our reason for picking it.
Yeah.
Your reason for picking whoever you pick, you should actually
Do your research.
You should think about it and make the perfect decision for you and your family.
Yeah. This for hypothyroidism, wild yam cream will help with that, can help with that. It can help get the thyroids back in perfect health so that they can function the way they should. But yes, I also think wheat is one of the issues to all of our causes, all of our health issues, the cancer, the high blood pressure, the high cholesterol, the inflammation, the ADHD, whatever you can think of, the issues we suffer with, hormone imbalance, it all come from hybridized products, the pesticides, the chemicals, all of the preservatives they putting in them. All this stuff is a combination of why we are so sick. Bobby did an experiment a few months ago. He said, well, let's see if we can grow some of this. Now, can we grow enough to sustain ourselves? No. No, we can't. Because what he got out there in the garden, if he go out there and hull or shuck that wheat that we got right now, I can probably make him a dozen cookies. And he'll blow through that dozen cookies in 10 minutes. But he did grow it. And it was beautiful in the snow. Yeah. Like, it is a beautiful crop to even try and grow. So I'm proud of him for even trying. And we got wheat.
Yeah, I dropped it in the fall. And it grew. And then it got cold. It snowed on top of it. Even with the pounds of snow sitting on top of it, it stayed green the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then when the weather started warming up, it continued to grow. And just the other day, we went out there, and I said, babe, we got wheat.
Oh, my God.
Because all it was is a tall grass.
And it was beautiful, but
yeah.
I was like,
and all of a sudden, I'm looking at it, I'm like, how the wheat supposed to come out of this thing? And all of a sudden, the shoots started coming up, and grains was on it.
Yes.
Yeah, like you said, though, I mean, the amount of wheat you will have to grow to actually be able to sustain yourself on it is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
But if you got extra land,
hey, try it.
yeah, why not?
Try it.
You know, but it is more work. When you grow it, and then you cut it, and then you got to hang it and dry it, and then you got to shell it and all that stuff. It's some work.
Yeah.
But it is exciting knowing that it can be done. If I'm thinking about what I can do for extra fall crop, you know, if I just want to not grow nothing else, which then that's not going to happen because broccoli season is a must.
Around here.
You know, we could just grow a whole bunch of ancient grains. Now, I was worried because it took so long for the wheat to come up. Now, something should be in my garden right now growing. I got a couple of beds that I could have been producing some more food in.
But that wheat popped up.
Well, yeah, but that wheat is there, and I'm going to let it stay there until it's finished.
Yeah, so a lot of people talk about price. They say, oh my God, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Or I can't afford a meal, it's too expensive. So that's why I recommend just get the flour already grinded up. That is perfectly fine because it's better than the crap we've been using. Now, we used to buy flour about a 25-pound bag, and it was $8, $10 for 25 pounds of flour. We switched to the ancient grain, and it ran us well over $100 for 25 pounds, which was fine because what those doctor bills look like?
That's right.
What
That's what you got to take into account.
What do those treatments and pills look like? This is our health.
Yeah, what you feeling good and normal cost, Steve?
Yeah.
What not having to run back and forth, be in pain, have issues cost to you? What
Hey, y'all,
happened to spend all that? Not have to spend all that money
in healthcare bills.
in pharmacies.
Yeah.
What is that worth to you? What is extending your life potentially? Because if you're not taking all the pills, you're not tearing up your organs. What is all that worth to you? You know, hey, it was a no-brainer for us. Of course, it was a shock when we first looked at it because it's like, that can't be right. That's crazy.
Yeah. We use this in everything. If I make cookies, and we'll do some videos so you can see the Cookie Monster eat all the cookies.
Some things are so good.
And let me tell y'all.
And I don't feel so bad knowing what they're made out of when I eat them. But you know, I try to do it in moderation. But
when I make cookies,
so
he like a buzzard. He either sitting right here in the dining room where he never sit, or he humming around the kitchen like waiting for something to come out. Because what I do is I'll bake a dozen. I set them on the counter, let them cool while a dozen baking. Because I bake about 3 dozen, even though I make like 6 at a time. But he stay really, really close because he loved those cookies. But the brownies are good. You can fry your foods in them. You can make cereal with it. You can make pasta with it. Dough. You can do exactly what you do with the modern wheat. You can do the same thing with these ancient grains. It is a little different to cook with when you're making bread or something because the texture is different, but it can be done. So it's just something that we should be more aware of because this could be the key to all of your health problems. It could very well be the key to all of your health problems.
You say we should sell homegrown foods? We can't. We got no time. Man.
So I saw somebody ask about high blood pressure. What we do for high blood pressure is we take cayenne beet. We take beet powder and drink cayenne. We take cayenne powder and we drink beet juice. But we started freeze drying them and capsuling it so that you don't have to. Some people say, "Oh my God, the cayenne is hot." I mean, it is spicy. It tingle a little bit, but you can take it straight. We just take the powder and consume the powder. You can do that up to 3 times a day.
But because I'm live, I'm gonna take the capsule.
He's taking capsules right now. We take 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper powder that we grow and a little bit of water, and we drink that. That is our blood pressure medicine. But of course, we always got to keep in mind, what are we consuming? What is making my blood pressure high? The salts we use, you need a clean salt. We always recommend Redmond Real Salt. That will help with your blood pressure. Having your hormones in balance, that will help with your blood pressure, and making sure you get your magnesium will help with your blood pressure also.
So guys, I'm gonna tell y'all, if you hear, we don't want you to just take anything to get yourself better. We want you to find out what's causing the problem too.
Yes.
All right. So if you're taking blood pressure medicine, we would love for you to consider trying to get off of that and trying something natural, because that's going to be better for you and your health.
Yeah, start with what you eating and what you consuming. Like those seasonings, trash them. Like it is hard to trash your seasonings, but trash them and trust us. You want clean seasonings. If you can grow some herbs and make your own, get you some Redmond Real Salt to make your seasonings, that will change your entire life.
Yeah, so just make sure, if when you take something like a capsule, cayenne and beets, that lower your blood pressure, now your blood pressure is being lowered by the herbs.
Yes.
Find out what's going on with your body that's causing your blood pressure to be high. If it's your wheats, you probably need to try changing your wheats and see if that actually helps with
balance
that.
You all.
All that stuff. You want to change the way you're doing things.
So you have Hashimoto's. So we have a friend that suffered with Hashimoto, and she used wild yam cream. She went and got treatments. She was doing treatments and all this medicine, steroids, all this stuff, and her thyroids were just out of whack. And she started using wild yam cream, and her life has not been the same since. I mean, because she's. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. What thing?
The chat.
The chat
Yeah.
at the bottom? That's the comments at the bottom.
Oh, I ain't talking about.
So we grow wild yam. We make a wild yam cream, which is good for hormone imbalance, and that's what she used. And now she is driving again and shopping again, and she even drove down here, which was a 7-hour trip for her a few weeks ago.
Who that?
And she
What's up, Anna?
she is able to cook and garden and do all the things she struggled with. Last year she wasn't able to do, but she struggled with these things over the years, and now she feels so much better since she started.
So what you say is share the live, please.
Share this live, please. You can share it. She probably just saying it in the chat.
Oh,
Celtic
okay.
salt. So we used to use Celtic salt. The only reason why we stopped, and we don't know if there's anything wrong with Celtic salt, wild yam cream. I'm sorry. You can find that at blacktropical.com. The thing with Celtic is we found out that it was, our package said North Carolina, somewhere in North Carolina. And we were trying to figure out, well, where is the salt deposit? Why is it being made in North Carolina? We right here and we want to go visit. Well, what they do at Salina anyway is they import their salt from like 7 or 8 different places in the country, and they package it here. So we don't know what the process is between wherever they purchasing the salt from out of the country and getting to the United States. We don't know the process. So we chose to stick with Redmond because Redmond is mined and packaged and tested and everything right here in the United States. And we were able to go and see exactly where the salt come from and everything. So high levels, lead, and Celtic salt. So yeah, we just stick with Redmond's because we know Redmond's is a U.S. company and we trust them.
So Lynette said, I want to wake up pain-free, so it's worth the money. The pain oil is working, so I'm going to try the flour. And, you know, that's important, guys. So when we put out a product, you know, we put in who we are behind it. And when we say that it does what it does, you know, if we don't, you know, deliver on what we put out, then why should you listen to anything else we say? You know, we're not going to just give you any information. We're not going to tell you anything. We're not going to say nothing to sell nothing.
But we also...
But we're going to actually put, you know, we're going to put who we are behind everything.
But we got to keep in mind that no two people are the same.
Exactly.
So what worked for one person really well may not work as good for the next, but it will. If you give it time, some people need a little more time. It will work. Redmond, what about pink Himalayan salt? So, go ahead, babe.
Well, pink Himalayan salt is a good second. You know, because Redmond didn't have nothing negative to say about it, they just said whenever we did a test, ours were superior. But if you're going to buy something other than
go for pink
Himalayan,
yeah.
You know, because it still has its minerals in it. You know,
Celtic has lead. It was on the news Monday. Oh, I didn't see that.
You said who?
Celtic. Mm-hmm.
Really? I ain't saw that either. Well, that's another thing, you know, guys. So one thing we did when we went to Redmond's is we found out the whole process, and they test everything that they pull out their mines. Now, the whole mine is not for human consumption, but they find the areas of the mine that is, and that's what they mill for human consumption. Some of it is just made for animals. Some of it is made for road salt.
Some of it is for
so
plants.
they test all that to make sure it is what it is, you know.
Yeah, so that's the importance, you know, and we traveled all the way to Utah just to visit the salt mines and see what is best for what, you know, and why should we be choosing Redmond over anything else. And we, hands down, it was the best. And since I started using Redmond, my blood pressure has been great. So I'm getting the minerals. That means my body is getting the minerals that it needs. But my husband has also used the salt out in the garden. We give a little bit to the dogs every now and then. The animals need it. Salt is vital for life. So we always got to keep that in mind. All salt is not created equal. So you can't just go and buy any salt and say, oh, it's supposed to do this, that, and the third.
Just understand, guys, if you haven't heard us talk about it before, they leach all the vitamin nutrients out of your salt. So all you left is with sodium. And they take that, then they try to replace it back with some iodine. But the iodine that they replace it with is not able to be taken up in your body.
Yeah.
But then they got to put an anti-caking agent in it so that your salt don't kick together and turn into a rock. So, that stuff that they put in it to stop it from doing that is poisonous to our system.
It's terrible.
You only can ingest it in small amounts, but you taking small amounts a whole lot of times. And, that stuff is actually hurting your body. So that could be the cause of a lot of our issues. Now understand, like, she can do that and I can do that, and we can get totally different reactions to that. So don't think because everybody else eat it, that's not my problem. That's the same thing with the wheat. Don't think because everybody else ain't having all these big flare-ups and their body going crazy because they eating the same wheat that you eating. That don't mean you're not having it because of that. So keep all that stuff in mind.
I think you can purchase Redmond with food stamps. I definitely own Amazon. So yeah, it's a product that you consume. It's just like buying salt, but it's just real salt. And we want your salt to be real, even for your kids, because even though we look at our kids as little perfect humans, the things that they are putting in their body, they getting sick at an early age. Our kids should not be suffering in their 20s and 30s and younger, 40s. We shouldn't be suffering the way we do. But it's these products that we are trusting the government to sell us, and we ingesting it. And over time, it's turning us up. So this is why we had these conversations, to bring you aware, to bring awareness to the benefits of something like an ancient grain or our salts and different things. Orders will go out tomorrow. I am packing orders today. Most orders have went out. If you've ordered anything yesterday evening and today, your orders will go out tomorrow, because Friday we got a surprise.
So, guys, I'm gonna remind you. So, Grand Teton, the link that we posted, if you order straight through them, they said when you order, for one, your shipping is free.
Yes.
And that's a heavy bag.
Yes.
And
I leave it
two,
outside.
They may bag your order the day you order it and send it to you, so you're getting a very fresh product. Versus, it may be in Amazon warehouse, and it might have been there for a few days. Versus you can order it from them, and they will ship it to you fresh. They will bag it up, then ship it to you, and it's a free shipping. So just keep that in mind. That's something however you decide to do it.
So how much cayenne and beets for high blood pressure? So what I took, and this is why we have to do our own research and pay attention to our bodies, because all of us are different. I would take about a teaspoon of cayenne pepper every day, once a day, and about 2 to 4 ounces of beet juice, because I don't like beet juice. It was hard, but 2 to 4 ounces of beet juice every day, and that was good for me. You can do that 3 times a day. Your body may need it 3 times a day. It may only need it twice a day. So you just have to pay attention and see what your body needs and wants.
Get your blood pressure cup and pay attention to what your blood pressure is doing.
Yes.
Guys, if you're hearing this for the very first time, you don't necessarily want to do it in conjunction with your blood pressure meds if you don't know what you're doing, because if you drop your blood pressure down to normal and then you take your blood pressure meds, you can drop your blood pressure too low.
Yeah, so what he's saying is like the if you take blood pressure medicine and cayenne pepper, the cayenne is a service herb. So if your blood pressure is high, the cayenne will drop it. But then in a little while later, you say, oh, I need to take my medicine. Your medicine going to drop your blood pressure because that's what it's designed to do. It's not going to say, oh, your blood pressure already normal, so I don't need to drop it. It's going to drop your blood pressure. So you definitely want to be careful with that.
And you can't over OD on cayenne because it's only going to lower your blood pressure to what it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And then it'll just be a food then. It'll pass through your body like anything else, unless you got another issue that it need to address. So you'll be fine with that. But you take your cayenne, you make sure your blood pressure is being controlled.
Yes.
If it is not, take your blood pressure meds. You know, you don't want to just stop and just hope that it's doing what it's doing. And you want to take your blood pressure, make sure it is in control, and then check it later and say, well, maybe I need to do it again. Or you may just be able to say, that one time was good enough for me for the whole day, and I had to do it once a day. Or you may just have to do it twice, or you might have to do it 3 times. Mm-hmm. So, but it's better than taking them meds, guys, I'm telling you.
For thyroids, we suggest wild yam cream. Wild yam has helped a lot of people when they have thyroid issues. Our website to order from our store is blacktropical.com. My husband will drop that for y'all over on YouTube. So, all right. You got a busy day? I got a busy day.
Always.
I know Bobby set something in my tea bed. And I was like, I know he ain't put that thing in my tea bed. So
you said you was going live on the phone.
I was, but it was time, so I ain't had time. But I was like, you got that thing in my tea bed. But it is beautiful, y'all. Part of our healing is getting outside and enjoy what God got for us out there. Fresh air. I mean, I know it ain't the freshest air, but get out, get some air, get some sun if it's sunning. But at least get out and enjoy some of the beautiful weather. Stand outside for a few minutes. Honey, we still a few minutes. Bobby been checking them girls working. They working. But if you use wild yam for thyroids, we will stop.
I'm surprised I put you out there Bobby. You can't stop arguing with me for nothing. Get him some wild yam cream. His hormones may be off because, you know, that's the reason why some of this stuff happens. You know, when our hormones are off, our tempers, our mentality is off, and we don't know it. We think that we are perfectly just in arguing or fussing because this person shouldn't have been doing this, and then all of a sudden you get your hormones in check and be like, why argue about that? That don't even make no sense.
Yeah.
You know, that's pointless.
Yeah.
And all I'm gonna do is get myself upset and then get them upset, and then what did we resolve? Nothing. So, you know, a lot of people don't realize their hormones off. You know, all the stuff that hormone imbalance does to your body, you know, it can definitely save marriages. It can save relationship with friends. It can save your life because all that jumping out of your car and blowing your horn when somebody do something stupid on the road, yeah, you're going to get upset, but how far are you going to go with that?
Yeah.
How far are your emotions going to make you go with that?
Yeah.
And you're going to think, I'm perfectly just, but you ain't going to be thinking, what if this person get out this car and snatch me out and beat me to death or pull a gun out and do something to me? You know, so being able to control yourself is important. And if you think well, a lot of people don't think they got a problem. If you're having problems, arguing with people, not getting along with people,
you just need your hormones.
You need to get your hormones in check.
And that's what he
needs.
Yam
cream is important.
Most of the time they think it's just a woman's hormones, but the men's hormones be raging too sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
Need to bring them in check.
But the thing is, so men are dangerous when their hormones are off. So you definitely don't want, you know, the hormones to get off as a man. If you are really emotional, going off for things that most people don't think make no sense as a man, your estrogen may be high, and you may need to go ahead and get your get all that in check.
Yeah. So.
And it is very important because it can save you your job, your marriage, your family. I mean, your friendships, and all that.
Yeah, depression, all of it is a hormone imbalance. So wild yam cream is great, and it is a cream. You apply it for men. Men apply wild yam cream once a day, and the instructions are on our jars and on our website. Um, if you ever forget, but men apply wild yam cream once a day. Pea-size amount, we say on the testicles. You can put it anywhere. The testicles are great. Women apply wild yam cream twice a day for 3 weeks. They take 1 week off, and you rotate the neck or the thyroid area, your inner wrist, inner thighs, breast, and belly. You rotate these places twice a day for 3 weeks, and then you take 1 week break. If you haven't cycle, take that week off. If you don't have a cycle, I break from the 21st to the 1st because I had a hysterectomy. So if I knew then what I know today, I wouldn't have done that to myself. Someone with bipolar, it could, what people, people that suffer with a bipolar issues, it could help balance them off. When the hormones are off, you don't even realize you can't control it. I would definitely try it and see if it can help control that disorder. So if you have a personal question or concern or question about products or something, send us a message at Homestead at Blacktropicalhomestead.com. We value your personal information. So some people do send us questions or want to talk a little bit about something or want to share something with us, and we ask you to do that through Homestead at Blacktropicalhomestead.com. And we also, you left your child open the door.
You better not be in my door, little girl.
Let me tell y'all, Nala, I told Nala she better pay some bills around here, cause she be opening doors. But yeah, it's the simple things, and definitely what we eat. At the beginning of everything, it all boils down to our food.
Exactly. That is our chemical imbalance a lot.
Everything is the cancers, the high blood pressures, the cholesterol, the weight gain, all this stuff, the hormone imbalance, the pain and inflammation, all this stuff.
If you get your diet, you get your foods in check, you will be surprised how much different you feel mentally, physically.
Pescatarian, I'm gonna send her over there.
And the yam cream, guys, we made it, inexpensive enough to where you will feel like I need to try it at least. And you should. You definitely should try it, because we had so many good testimonies about it. And it can absolutely change your life. And and it's the little things, guys. It's the little things that you don't think that's causing you the problems. You and your spouse, y'all sex life might be, a little better. And then
she ain't in here today.
the arguing and fussing and all that stuff will seem a lot more unnecessary, because we need each other. We need to be here for each other, especially in our later years, because a lot of times this is the time of year where our hormones act up the most. This is the time when we tend to leave each other the most. And this is the time when we need each other the most. This is what you put all the years in for somebody to be here for you in these later years. And to mess that up because you was in your feelings.
Thank you, G Mama.
And started arguing and fussing about something, and now you're too proud to walk it back. But you know good and well this is going to destroy your relationship.
Yeah.
So, do everything you can to make sure you mentally, physically, on par. And definitely if you got some ailments, guys, we're going to need each other in these later years to see each other through. When there's nobody else, there's no partying and friends coming over and all the stuff here going on. And now we, in our later years, it's going to be you and that person. Y'all going to be depending on each other, get each other to the hospital when needed. to go and get food for each other, to cook for each other, just to be there. Somebody to sit on the porch with, somebody to sit there and watch TV shows with, whatever, all that stuff that people may not be thinking about, in their younger years. You're gonna definitely need that in your older years. My wife worked in a facility where there was a lot of old folks, and when they were actually together, they were good. But they typically, when one of them left, the other one was leaving shortly after.
Yeah, that's why we would I did personal care, so I had my girls that I took care of, and I could only do one at a time, but I would bring them together. We would put them in the truck, take them for a ride, take them out to eat, and they were great when they were together. Like, one of my clients lost her husband, they were together 80 years, and we knew we couldn't leave her alone most of the time, so we made her, she thought I lived with her. I was her best friend. So we kept a bed in the room just so she wouldn't feel like she was in there by herself. And when she would wake up and I wasn't in that bed, she would come downstairs and sit at the front until I got there. So we would keep those ladies together and take them out together and spend, because we need people. We need each other. Not just anybody, but we need good people, positive people. You don't want people in your ear telling you all this craziness. You want people that's going to speak life into you.
Yeah, that is very important, guys. The people you have around you is very, very important. It could be the reason why relationships end. If they're not speaking positively, they're not actually taking everything into account. Like I tell people all the time, when my friends come to me and talk to me about what's going on in their lives, I never tell them to make a detrimental decision that is not going to affect me at all. If you having this problem with your wife, you need to deal with this. I would never tell you to leave nobody. I don't care how much I disagree with what that person might have done, because what that is doing is making the decision for that person based off of how you feel about their person. Mm-hmm. I don't expect for you to care about my wife the way I do. Yeah, you would do X, Y, and Z if this was your, you would do X, Y, and Z because this is my wife, not yours. You don't love her, you don't care about it, you ain't got all this time and effort, invested in it. You don't know all the amazing things she done for me, and all the, things we did together. You don't know none of that. Mm-hmm. But because I'm venting to you about this issue.
For the moment.
Yeah, you sitting there telling me to make a decision that's going to affect me for the rest of my life. Yeah. And you don't want those people in your life. If you want to talk to somebody, they should be there to listen. They shouldn't be there to interfere. Yeah. And if they interfere, you need to get them out of your life. You need to get them out of your life. Because when you sitting there, you crying, hurting, depressed, they going on about their life. They ain't feeling none of that. None of that. Nope. But yet, they gonna put you in that position. So, guys, life is important. The people in your life is important. You need to take it seriously. All this stuff. You need to take how you eating and all this stuff. We going about life and we not even thinking about, what could be. By the foods we eating and none of that, because we don't know no better. But now, you're sitting here and you're hearing it now. When you know better,
you do better.
And we got to all do better.
Yes, that today, our homework is ancient grains. Look into them. You may say, oh, that's a bunch of baloney. Take the time to at least look. Again, you don't have to buy the wheat and grind them up yourself. This is a total game changer. It is amazing and it feels good to grind these berries. But just buy the flour and start that transition for your family now. And I'm telling you, your food is your medicine. 3 things I want y'all to do. 4. I want you to look into ancient grains. I want you to trust God, because y'all know He doesn't do anything to hurt us. He provides us with everything we need to live, survive, and be healthy. I want you to be consistent and be patient.
So guys, if you were just coming in, y'all give us a reaction. Double tap that screen here on the YouTube side. Give us a thumbs up. We definitely appreciate it. Help with the algorithm.
Yes.
It'll let YouTube know that, hey,
they might be all right.
Yeah. they may be offering some value. Let's let other people see them too. So
Yes.
we appreciate it. Do that on Facebook also. Give us a reaction.
Yeah, so thank y'all for joining. Again, the links are everywhere so you can check out these grains. You can shop Black's Tropical for our products. If you have any questions, homestead at blacktropical.com.
Like I said, y'all are great life coaches. We live life and we still learning as we go. And as we learn, we trying to bring everybody along with us.
Yes.
These are very new things to us.
Good, Yolanda.
And because we came from inner city, not knowing, we ain't from, my wife is a nurse, but not coming from a natural health care section, we learning all this stuff as we go. And as we go, we like, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy. No, how we didn't know this stuff? And because we feel that way, we know y'all got to feel that way too. So when we bring it to you, we absolutely want you to look into it. Now, with the wheat guys, when I first saw the research on the wheat, they didn't talk about ancient grains, so I still didn't know those things existed. But I watched something and I want to say it was was it Food Inc. or something like that?
Oh, might have been.
It was something, yeah. And they was talking about how, this hybridized wheat was actually created. And now, they found out 15, 20 years ago how it's been causing all these ailments in people's bodies and stuff. And I was sitting there like, wow. But at the same time, I'm sitting there like, okay, so what do we do about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so here, 6 months to a year later, I find out that what's that?
Go ahead.
I found out that I got diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got to figure out what do I have to do?
And all we did was change his diet. No medicine.
What you
God's medicine. Oh, the ancient grain link.
Mm-hmm.
So just do your research. Know that we are here for you. We are one community. Together we are stronger. The knowledge. Like we don't even know what the knowledge look like here between just us this morning.
As it develops with us, we're gonna put it out there because that's just who we are. When we find these things that's gonna help, we're gonna put it out there. Yep. And believe me, guys, we have had people approach us with other stuff, and we didn't feel like that was something that we needed to be talking about or pushing. So we don't.
Yes.
When you hear us talk about a company or a product,
we done did some work.
We done did some research, and like I said, we know that some of y'all are, hurting and sick, and we're not finna put nothing in your face that's gonna make that worse.
Yeah.
Just not. And that's just us, our ethics, our morals. We just, I don't care what kind of money comes with it. We gonna have to believe what we're saying. Could we be wrong with something?
Yeah.
We were wrong with Celtic salt.
Yeah. We started with Celtic.
Yeah, we was wrong with that. And when we switched, and we told you why we switched.
So what does my husband diet look like daily? Usually he'll eat later. And it's usually taco soup.
Yeah.
He may eat, sometimes he'll eat for breakfast, he'll eat a couple eggs and it's been mushrooms. Yeah. He'll eat like 6 eggs and maybe a cup and a half of mushrooms or so, with onion and green pepper and cheese. And then he'll eat some taco soup maybe for lunch-ish, maybe. Sometimes he doesn't eat breakfast, he'll just eat lunch and it might be taco soup. And then for dinner he'll eat a sweet potato and a bunch of meat. It may be hamburger, maybe chicken, maybe pork chop, whatever the meat is. He may eat taco soup and chicken, or taco soup and a couple hamburgers. So it just depends. He don't eat a whole lot of food.
No more.
Anymore. Because now he eating healthier and more filling food. So
I'm eating clean, whole foods now, and it fills you and it fills you for longer. I know that's going to be hard to believe for some of y'all because I didn't think I would be able to do it. But when you eat good foods, you don't eat nearly as much of it.
Yeah.
You'll eat a whole bunch of junk, like stuff from McDonald's and all these fast food restaurants and stuff, because all that stuff is junk.
Yeah.
empty foods that got a whole bunch of bad ingredients in it, and your body, just dissipates with it. When you're talking about having whole foods, healthy meats, healthy fats, your body is running well off of just that. It's almost like putting the regular unleaded gas in your car, then putting the premium gas in your car. Yeah, it's way cheaper to put the regular unleaded in there. But if you put that premium in there, that premium burns for a long time. You don't have to put nearly as much in there. So you may run 3 days off a tank of unleaded, and you can run the whole week off a tank of premium.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Yeah.
Empty calories, that's correct.
Yeah. So somebody said their husband want to get off of his the medicine for his diabetes make him sick. It's all about diet.
Yep.
My husband went to carnivore diet. Well, we went to carnivore diet for a few weeks to reset our body so that we could starve that diabetes out, and he was good to go. We just never even depended on the medicine. We just did it by diet. So
empty nutrients and full of crap.
Exactly.
That's definitely what it is.
Exactly.
And you sitting there, all this man-made stuff that we put in our bodies, and it's tearing our bodies up, guys. It is. And I know, a lot of us just didn't know. Like the taco soup. One thing about that, my wife can fix me a big pot of that. And that way I always have something to eat. Mm-hmm. I ain't got to just go grab some junk. I just grab me a little bowl, put it in there, warm it up, and I'll be able to eat a good food instead of like
cookies. If them cookies round now,
I will eat those too.
I'd be like, why you eat that? Won't you eat your food? He said, I will eat that too. I just wanted a cookie.
That's the reason why a lot of people eat sandwiches. It's so fast. Let me take and get this bread that we know now is horrible for us, and wipe it down with some stuff that's even worse.
Yeah. And
put it together and have a meal, and then you're hungry again in another couple of hours after that stuff that's set in your body and did nothing for you.
I'll drop the taco soup. That's the main. My husband can eat taco soup breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He can I had like 6 eggs with his taco soup. He'll eat that for breakfast. At lunch, he'll eat taco soup. Shred some cheese on top of it. And for dinner, he'll eat taco soup. I can fry a hamburger and he gonna eat taco soup. He ate taco soup for about 3 months straight. The beans, the lentils, and a grass-fed ground beef. He was good to go. But I'll drop that recipe again for y'all to check out.
Again, guys, if y'all new, go ahead and tap that screen on the YouTube side and give us a thumbs up. Double tap.
Double tap. Facebook, do the same. But you just gotta hold it. So y'all.
Yeah, we gotta get some work done. So I appreciate y'all.
Bobby's crew is here.
Yeah. Till the next time.
Don't let nobody steal your joy. Thank you, Stacy. We appreciate you. From New Zealand. Ooh, God bless you. We love and appreciate you. Y'all have a blessed day. Taco soup coming right up. Booty like, I already knew what time it was. That's my demo girl. Lord, let's find the keys. Oh, find daddy keys, y'all.